Hi there, my name is Kevin with HSU Research, and I'm going to show you folks how to remove an amplifier from the unit. What you'll need is a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the 12 perimeter screws around the edge of the plate amp. And once you remove those screws, that's going to allow you to pull the plate amp out of the enclosure. It's only about 4 to 5 pounds depending on the model, so it's not heavy at all. Most of the time is taken to remove the screws. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just for the sake of time, we're not going to have you sit through all this, so we're just going to go ahead and fast forward through it. Okay, and now that all the 12 screws have been removed from the amplifier, we will now be able to remove the plate amp from the enclosure. So it just comes out just like that. Very simple. And so next I'm going to move over to our display area and show you how to remove the leads, the speaker leads that connect from the amplifier from the woofer. And we're going to cover both the VTF2 Mark V and our 15-inch line, the ULS15, the VTF3, and the VTF15H Mark II. Hi there. Thanks for waiting, and here we are at our 12-inch driver for the VTF2 Mark V. And this uses a different system to connect the speaker wires to the 12-inch driver versus our 15-inch line. So I'm going to show you the 12-inch first. This is actually probably the more complicated one of the two, but it's not difficult at all. So as you zoom in, you're going to see these two speaker wires that connect from the amplifier to the driver directly. And this uses what we call a fast-on connector. So if you kind of look over here, you'll see these two spade connectors here, and they connect to this rectangular tab for the positive and negative. Now, the typical response is to pull them off, but before you do, the little trick is that there's a tiny triangular shaped tab right in the middle of the connector that you will actually need to press in. This triangular tab keeps it locked in so it doesn't fall out during normal operation. So what you can do is you're going to use your fingernail, or you can use a small flathead screwdriver and press in on the triangular tab and you pull that out. Sometimes you may need to jiggle it to pull it out completely, but that's basically how you do that. You press it in and then you pull that out, and you can do the same for the positive lead as well. And that's pretty much it. And once you do that, the whole entire plate amp is separated from the enclosure, so you can then remove it and do what you need to do with it. Now I'm going to move over to show you how to disconnect the leads from the ULS15 as well as our ported 15s. They're slightly different, but they're both very easy to do. So I will go ahead and set that up and I'll show it to you in just a second. So this is our 15-inch driver, and it's the same across the ULS15 Mark II, our VTF3 Mark V HP, and our VTF15H Mark II. And the way that the speaker wires attach is going to be a little bit different between the sealed ULS15 and the VTF3 and VTF15H Mark II ported subs. So I'm going to show you the two differences here. With the ULS15 Mark II, the reason why we do this is because there's a brace in there. And so in order to keep you from having to reach around that brace, we came up with this solution of a quick disconnect between the woofer and the amp. So you can see this connector here. I actually chose two different colors to make it easier for you to distinguish one versus the other. So what you're going to do is you're going to see that there's a tab on the side here. And how you're going to disconnect it is you're going to press in on this tab here, which will release the lock so you can actually easily pull them out. Now again, you may need a jiggle, but as long as you press and hold this in as you pull it out, that should disconnect. So that's the ULS15, very simple. And again, once you disconnect that, the amp is completely disconnected from the unit, so you can pull that out. And so now we're going to fast forward over to the VTF15H and the VTF3 Mark V. Now these don't have that internal bracing that you have to worry about. So how they attach to the woofers, they use what we call spring-loaded binding posts. So it's actually very simple to remove, but I'm going to have you go ahead and zoom in here, and so I can show you what you're doing. So the post is spring-loaded, so that means that as you press in, there's a spring mechanism that allows you to open up this hole that you can feed the bare wire through, and then when you release, it springs back and clamps onto the wire. So I actually already disconnected it for you so you know how to do it. So you're going to press in on the post, and you're just going to pull that out. And if you need to install it again, you're going to push it in and then feed the bare wire through and release the speaker wire. Or I'm sorry, release the binding post. And so that's how you disconnect the leads from the woofer. And that's basically it. So yeah, so that's how you disconnect the amplifier from the unit should you need to do any kind of repair, or if somebody were to throw something into the port, which we've had done a few times, and you need to access the inside of the sub. So if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or send us an email, and we'd be happy to assist you further. Thanks.